All right, what's good, everybody? Welcome to High Chicago. We are going to do MaryClaire's interview. Third time's a charm is what you just said.
Third time's a charm.
Because for some reason we kept muting each other as opposed to muting James. But anyways, MC, what's good? How are you? How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. It's a nice,
Good.
beautiful day. It's Sunday. I'm ready to go.
So the people want to know certain things about you, so let's dive in, okay?
I bet.
Cool. So MaryClaire, question one. If you had to pick between Donald Trump and Kanye West, who the fuck would you pick? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. We're not going to go there again. Don't you worry. It's fine.
Fine. Jeez. Next question.
But no, let's be for real, right? So why are you on this podcast?
I'm on this podcast because I love myself and I need the world to love themselves a little bit more just like me. You feel me? People don't understand me. People don't understand me. But then when I start talking and they refer to me, they're like, she's that girl, you know? And I'm like, thank you, now that you understand me. So I just need the world to understand a little bit more. That's all.
So you're on the show so people know who you are more.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I'm not afraid to speak my mind, and the world needs to hear more people like that, unfortunately.
Okay. I mean, that's fair, right? So then if you want people to know you more, describe yourself in 3 words.
Ooh. How did James put it? I believe he said ratchet, bougie. I see how this landing. No, but for real though, I think top 3 things people describe me as that I would agree.
No. How do you describe yourself?
Describe myself, yeah. I'm very outgoing. Okay. I can talk about anything. So that goes with the outgoingness. Just really happy and positive and funny. I'm really funny.
Outgoing, happy.
Not like Morgan funny, but like Mary funny.
Okay. So just so we're clear, everybody watching, Morgan's her sister, and neither one of them are funny. So I'll put that out there.
So that was pretty funny.
But okay, so happy, outgoing, funny,
positive.
Solid.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Very generic descriptions, but I'll accept it.
I mean, what can I say? You gotta watch my podcast and subscribe if you want to get to know me a little bit more. You know what I'm saying?
Something like that. But that's also kind of the purpose of this, right? So let's talk about you growing up, right? Tell me about your upbringing. Who did you hang around? How were you raised?
Well, I mean, I grew up in the south suburban area, the Chicagoland area, in Matson, Little Timber Ridge, Mobile Home Park, lived there my whole life. I went to school in the Richmond Park area, which was the complete opposite of what most people today see. So I was the minority growing up. I was like that one white kid in the class throughout every single grade up until about high school and further on. And then I think that's pretty much how the demographic of that area is now. And then when I went off to college, it was a little different. So I jumped out of the only area I knew into a new area, and I was like, whoa, this is not Matson, Illinois anymore.
So let's compare the two real quick, right? So growing up from grade school through high school, you said you were the minority. So did you hang out with other white kids? Were you with like the African-American students?
I really didn't have any white friends. I mean, there was a few couple that lasted here and there, but 9 times out of 10, their parents moved them out of the neighborhood because they're like, oh, this is a bad area. My kid's never going to thrive over here. And so, yeah, they were there for a couple years and then they would leave. So most of my friends who I had from preschool and kindergarten till I graduated high school were all about the same. Majority African-American. I had a couple that were Hispanic. So just varied between that, really. Didn't really have too many white friends.
Okay. So then let's piggyback off that a little bit, right? So a lot of feedback that I've gotten when it comes to the podcast, and you specifically, is that sometimes your tone or your dialect can be really offensive to Black women.
Ooh,
okay. My first question is, have you ever heard that before?
Yeah, it's not the first time.
Okay, so no problem, right? So let's talk about who you are as a person, right? So why do you think people say that?
I never really understood it because even when I was younger, people would hear me talk and look at me kind of funny, or they would laugh at me and be like, oh, it's just her. And then the older I got, people would meet me, get offended, and be like, oh, I can't stand that little fake white girl, blah, blah, blah. She's so ghetto. She's so ratchet, blah, blah, blah. Okay, whatever. I'm over it. I've heard it my whole life. But then when I would say when I got to more like 5th, 6th, 7th grade, that age range, majority of those people that I grew up with, they were like, nah, that's Mary. She's cool. She grew up here. Like, people understood me more. So, I mean, I can't really explain why it is that people get so judgmental. I talk the way I talk because that's what I grew up around. I don't know, that's how everyone in my neighborhood talks. So you can either agree with that or disagree with that. But last time I checked, whatever you grew up around tends to be your main influence. So.
Okay, so that's fair. So then the follow-up question is, then would you say you're authentic? Like, are you this person at work, outside of work, in front of your mom, doesn't matter who you're in front of, this is how you are?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have my little fake customer service voice. All my people know that. I'll be like, hi, oh my God, how can I help you? Because you have to be very like clear and pronunciate really loud. But other than that customer service voice, no, I'm pretty much 24/7 this version of Mary. I think most of my friends who know me know that I'm pretty much like this. So
I guess
if somebody out there thinks they haven't, then I'd like to know when.
So my question for you is then, why do you feel the need to put on a different voice with customer service versus how you just talk in your everyday life?
I guess because that's how I've always been taught. Like, even when I was younger and you take like classes that teach you about career development and professionalism, they teach you to speak loud and clear and pronunciate and this and that. So I've just been kind of, I guess you could say, molded that way, even from a young age. It's not anything new. I did it even when I got my very first job. It's just, I feel like that's taught. So I don't know. That's all I got for you.
Well, okay. So no, I like the honesty. I like the dialogue, right? So I guess my question is, if a Black person or a Black woman specifically said, "Hey, your answer just offended me," what would you say to that? Because think about what you said. Think what you just said, right? You just said that, "Hey, I put on this customer service voice, right, and it sounds really like, I don't know how you describe it. It's just different than your normal voice, right?" And if somebody says they're offended by it, how do you respond?
And it's like, it's annoying in my opinion. I hate it.
Your customer service, but you feel the need to do it is what could offend people.
I mean, if it's offending people, I would just want to know why it offends them, and then I'd be like, all right, that's fair. Well, sometimes people do things that are offensive and they don't realize it. So.
Okay, so you'd be open to, if somebody were to come at you and say, "Hey, this offends me because of A, B, and C," you would be like open to that dialogue.
Oh yeah, I'm always all open ears. I've been that way since I was a kid. My mom kind of always taught me that, everyone's different. Everyone comes from different backgrounds, different perspectives. So don't ever be afraid to ask why. Rather know than be ignorant to it and just go your whole life thinking you're right, because that's stupid. And I can't stand people who do that. So when people tell me like, oh, you're ignorant because you talk a certain way and this and that, I'm like, well, you don't know me, so how can you say that? It works both ways. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So that's fair. So let's talk about people that kind of do know you, right? So you had let me start by saying, in college, you were president of the Black Student Association, right?
Yeah.
Not president?
I was a co-president, and then I was really only like solo president for a couple months, but that's because the person who was doing co-president with me like pieced out. So
okay.
Yeah. But I hate saying like I was the president, because I never really took that stand on that position. Like, oh, I'm the president of the Black Student Association. I was a co-president. I loved that because I didn't have to do it alone. Right. And it was more balanced. But yes, okay. I did hold some different positions for the Black Student Association.
Okay, tell me about your experience with that.
Well, when I actually started college, I picked the school in Naperville, not really knowing that Naperville was like majority white. I actually didn't know that. I know, ignorance. Okay. It's great. And went to college and learned that, people are really racist and the world is set up like this. It just turned me all around. But when I got to college, I wanted to surround myself with things that felt familiar. and I actually got into a program called Premier Scholars, and it's for kids that grow up in low-income families, minority backgrounds, or something else. But basically, if you belong to one of these, a first-generation student, which I was. So I belong to the low-income family background and the first-generation student, and it just so happens that sometimes you tend to come across different minority groups. I was obviously not a minority. I was white. I am white. But being in that group, you're automatically tuned in with the multicultural affairs, and they try to get you to participate in different cultural groups, get knowledgeable, spread the love, spread the knowledge, educate yourself and others. It's college. That's what you do.
Okay.
So I became part of Raza Unida and the Black Student Association. And that's kind of how it all started.
That's pretty dope, right? From my perspective, I think it's awesome that, a white person had the courage to join a Black Student Association.
It's not very good look at first, trust me.
Well, no, so I kind of want to talk about that though too, right? Because you got into like a little Facebook beef with somebody about that, right? So somebody that you're friends with on Facebook put up a status and said, to be Black at North Central College is having a white man teach African American studies, right? Yeah. And then you actually agreed with that sentiment, again, trying to come across like an ally. However, you got attacked for that.
I did. Right?
Why did you feel you got attacked for that?
I mean,
and the woman was Black who said that, by the way, right?
Yeah, she's a young African American woman. She also graduated from the same college as me. I do understand I'll never know what it's like to be a young African American woman at my college, let alone in general. But I was super confused when I walked into the African American history class, and I don't know, maybe it's me being judgmental, but I really thought the professor was going to be Black, and I was like, yes, finally a Black professor on this white campus. And then this guy walks in and starts writing on the chalkboard, and we look at each other, we're like, who is this? And he turns around and goes, oh, hello, I'm the professor. And I was like, what? I'm not expecting that. So, I don't know, that's just how I felt about it. Okay. And I guess me typing that I had agreed on that was offensive. And, I didn't get it at first because I was like, why is it offensive? Like, I know you very well. We were both on the Black Student Association. But, I do get it. I will never be able to understand it from her perspective. So I guess me writing that comment made her feel some type of way. That's okay. She's allowed to feel like that. But there's a lot of times where stuff like that happens where I will relate to it in a way, I guess, because I'm like also confused and people get mad at me like, oh my goodness, that doesn't make sense to me, but okay. So I get it happens, but I was equally confused, needless to say. So. Okay.
But you said you understood why she felt the way she felt.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you for being open and honest about that experience and that issue that you had there.
I just want to say though, prior to that experience, that wasn't the first time where something like that happened, and it was like in person. Like when I was in college and I helped with events for the Black Student Association or Raza Unida, people were like, the first question, are you Black? No? Okay, then why are you here? And I was like, dang! It's so sad, but that's how it is,
Why didn't you join the White Student Association?
First of all, we don't talk about them. Second of all, no.
I'm just asking. That was a serious question.
No, not about that life.
Okay.
But it does exist if you didn't know.
I knew. That's why I asked.
A lot of like, it's not like called that, but like there's a lot of main campus organizations that are definitely heavily majority white, and they run a certain way. And let's just say if you understand how those things work, then you could tell who those organizations were. And if you didn't get it, then maybe you should just take some extra classes. Enroll yourself in some more enriching environments.
Okay. All right. Let's enough with the negative, right? Let's talk a little positive now. Okay.
Yes.
What gives you the greatest satisfaction?
Helping people, honestly.
Tell me more.
I'm very like, if I can tell you got a problem or you look down or sad or something sticking out, I'm like dying to fix the problem because I can't stand seeing people upset. sad, unhappy, anything like that. Even if it's like the world's smallest problem, like you have a splinter in your finger, I'm like, oh my God, let me be the person. I don't know why I'm like that. I'm going to blame my mom.
Okay.
But literally it is the biggest thing about me. I'm one of those, you do acts of kindness to show that you love people. I'm one of those people. I learned that as an adult. I learned that.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's solid. So you love helping people. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So now I have another question for you to kind of wrap it up and keep it on a light note. Okay.
Sure.
So I need to know what the background is on this picture that I'm about to flash on the screen right now. What the hell? What the hell is going on in this? Please.
First of all, I'm not proud of that photo, but you know what? I'll own it. I will own it because guess what? Like I told you, no limits, whatever.
Okay.
That picture was actually taken the very first day that I moved to Houston.
Okay.
That is in the living room / kitchen of my very first apartment. My sister Morgan, your wife, as everyone knows, she helped me move down here, and we were so tired. We took a nap like all day, and then we woke up and we were like, let's celebrate, let's get drunk, let's drink tequila. You know, that's our
Sounds
thing.
about
We
right.
love tequila. Oh my God, it's like, it brings a different side of us out, right? So we bust out the tequila, we start taking shots, we're home by ourselves. I have no furniture, obviously. You can see in the photo, there's nothing behind me. I had no furniture, nothing in that apartment. Okay. And I got super wasted, and at one point Morgan was like, okay, I don't think we should have any more tequila. And I'm pretty sure at that point she gave me a bottle of water with a straw, and she convinced me that it was tequila so that I'd keep drinking
Stupid
water.
Ass.
And so I was like, fine, I guess I'll drink this. Sometimes you got to do that with your friends. You know, you just know each other so well.
Of course.
You've got to trick each other into doing stupid stuff. But hey, whatever.
But hands down, that's one of the top 5 most stupid ass faces I've seen in a picture in a really long time.
Oh man, that's rough.
But I appreciate you, Mary Claire. We'll go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you opening up yourself to our audience. If you guys have any questions about Mary Claire, she says she's open to questions. She's open to comments. She's open to feedback. She's an open book, as you guys have known from our last episodes. So please don't be afraid. No, I'm just saying. Anything you guys want to know about Mary Claire specifically, she said don't be afraid to ask, right?
I'm down to get to know people all day, every day. So hit me up whenever.
All right, bet. So thank you guys for your time. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time, everybody. Peace out.